Hi and welcome to the Good Governance Masterclass. My name's Trevor Swan and I'm Director at Enduring Leadership, and I'll also be the lecturer for the whole programme. It's designed for business leaders and board directors and those who support them in their work to understand best practices of boardroom management and leadership and good governance. It's primarily aimed at SME and larger businesses rather than corporations and multinationals, because we want you to really learn and apply the principles into your specific business situations. So the Good Governance Masterclass is an online only program designed to empower professionals and elevate their skills in leadership and governance and boardroom effectiveness. So the masterclass brings the best practices of boardroom management and good governance and grounds them in the realities and applications of SMEs and larger businesses. We're not primarily focused on corporations and multinationals, although we will reference them, especially for the case studies that have infamously gone wrong. And look at the strengths and weaknesses and why it happened so that we can learn how to avoid it in future. Each module blends insight with application to sharpen your decision making in your particular situations and applications. So let's have a look at the learning model. As I said, it's online only, and there's two options. You can choose the Essentials, which is complimentary, and it covers all the subjects in the 8 modules. The second is the Executive Access program, which is much more detailed, and there's only 25 participants per cohort to ensure quality of delivery. In the program, you'll get a much more in-depth presentation from myself, and it will be supported by guiding questions and curated videos and readings to help you in your self-study. There's also presentations that you'll make and an assignment. There's a messenger service for communication with your peers and a reflection journal as well. And we'll talk more detail about those later on. So let's have a look at the modules in more detail. There's 8 altogether, and we start with the history and background on governance and boards, and also the principles and best practices of good governance. This lays down a foundation for the rest of the modules. The second looks at the roles and responsibilities of the boards in a lot more detail. We look at the types of boards and the composition, the roles of the board members, especially those of the chair and the company secretary, and also how to effectively run board meetings for best practices and decision making. Module 3 is strategy for directors and looks at the difference between a strategy and a plan, and how important it is to be able to communicate that strategy to the team and the stakeholders, the wider stakeholders, for effective operation of the business. Module 4 is corporate finance for directors, and it looks at how to interpret and understand financial statements and metrics. It's not aimed at the CFO, but for the other board members and supporting executives, so that they are able to support the board in decision making. It also looks at financial oversight and how to continually monitor your finances, creating dashboards for assessment so that you know exactly where your business is at a given time. Module 5 is leadership, essential for any business and starts with the principle of leadership, starts with us individually as leaders, and then widens out to our teams and the wider stakeholders. It includes emotional intelligence, organizational culture, communication, managing stress, conflict resolution, and equipping participants with the skills to lead in high performance boards. Module 6 is risk. We look at what is risk and a risk appetite of a business so that you can create the framework for your particular situation. It looks at risk management, and it also puts into place frameworks such as risk scenarios and stress testing so that your business is prepared for crises before they happen. The 7th module is diversity and ESG. We look at why it's beneficial to have diversity on boards and in leadership, especially not only for gender and culture or nationalities, but also diversities of opinion, and how it really benefits boards and leadership to have them in place so that there is a greater balance and more informed decisions can be made. The other half of that is ESG, environmental social governance, and how businesses play a key role in the communities and societies and the environment that they operate in. The final is compliance. Many countries have different compliance frameworks and regulatory frameworks. So in this module, what we do is we bring together the best practices and frameworks that you can apply into your particular situation. It doesn't give you a formulaic 10-step, but it does provide an effective framework for you to be able to apply into your situation. So now we look at the Executive Access Programme in a little bit more detail. The timetable and flow is typically that you'll receive an in-depth presentation from me on the subject, and it will be supported by guiding questions and curated reading and videos specifically on the application of the subject to your situations. To help you to bring together that application and apply it into your situation, there's a presentation that you'll make each week. It's only 5 minutes long, and it can be in Word or audio or PowerPoint, but it helps you to bring together your thoughts and apply it into your situation from the week's subject. All of that's supported by a WhatsApp group so that you can communicate with your peers and not only share with them, but learn from them and learn from their experiences. There's a reflection journal for you to personally reflect on your learning. And finally, a written assignment of around about 1,500 words, which is 4 sides of A4 or US letter paper. And that's at the end of each module to bring together the learning. It's not too academic, so please don't be put off by that, but it does help you to focus the learning into the situations that our businesses find ourselves. Now let's look at grading and standards for the program. To give you some background, I also developed and deliver the Certified Directors course at the Cambodian Institute of Directors in Phnom Penh. And this and the course is based on the UK National Education Framework, including the Regulated Qualifications Framework, the RQF, in the UK. That's at certificate level 4-5, and it follows that framework, for example, in the grading of your assignments at distinction, merit, pass and fail. And I've created a rubric around that so that it meets the standards of the RQF. The pricing of the module is in two options. If you choose per module, it's 49 US dollars. And if you choose the whole bundle, it's 299 US dollars, which saves you 95. So I hope this has given you a good overview of the program and all the details. It's only just the beginning of the whole program. The next one will be Module 1 and Subject 1. If you're interested in signing up for the Executive Access Program, you can go to enduringleadership.com, or you can message me directly on this WhatsApp and Telegram number, or click the link to the Good Governance Masterclass page. I hope this has been informative, and I look forward to seeing you in future. Take care.